Welcome to State Scoop TV. I'm Jake Williams. We're here at the National Association of State Chief Information Officers Midyear Conference for 2017, and our first guest today is David Smith. He's the National Director for Citrix, State and Local Government. David, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
So David, I want to ask you a couple questions. How should states be reimagining the way that they operate digitally?
So I think when you think about all the things that states have to do, the one biggest thing that they have to do is how they engage with their citizens, right? And when you look, I think they should take from commercial entities how they engage with their customers, right? It's highly mobile experiences, being able to access things from anywhere. People are looking to use devices like this to get access to services, right? And so the more and more they can look to provide services, government services the same way, I think it's an interesting way of looking at how they engage with their citizenry.
That's outstanding. And what steps, so we talked about changing the way that states are operating digitally, but what steps should government leaders be taking to connect their teams digitally, independent of the device?
Right. So I think it starts with, having a services-oriented mindset, looking at, there's going to be a combination of applications that they're going to have to deliver, right? So there's going to be older legacy applications. Not everything is mobile ready, right? So you have to look at what technologies can you use, whether it's virtualization, cloud-based technology. How do you take those applications and deliver them to those newer devices, make them more mobile, allow a caseworker the ability to access all the information that they have closer while they're out in the field, versus being stuck or chained to a desk and being forced to interact with old applications in legacy ways.
Sure. And what should, so we're here at NASCIO, what should a CIO's end vision look like for the way that their team operates and delivers services?
So I'll use an analogy maybe to talk about that. So I think it all goes back to services, right? If you think of your Comcast or your DirecTV or your cable TV provider, right? They're very concerned about the services that they provide, being able to turn on and off a service. Regardless of what type of TV you have, right? You call it for service. They don't say, "Hey, do you have a Sony versus a Samsung?" They say, "Here's our box. Depending on what you pay for, we'll turn it on, turn it off," right? And so, being able to have a services-oriented vision that is device independent, it's even source independent, right? So, go back to the analogy again, right? The cable TV provider doesn't actually create the content. It's coming from outside sources. And so you're going to have cloud-based resources. You're going to have resources in your own data centers, other third parties providing information in. Being to be able to aggregate those services and provide them out is, I think, a key kind of philosophy that CIOs should adopt.
Interesting. And we've talked about a lot of things so far, but how do cloud, mobility, data, and IoT really factor into how government will deliver services to constituents in the future?
I think they all kind of play together, right? You start with looking at cloud as a way to extend the data center, being able to provide some services, being able to rapidly adapt, provide a new service quickly without massive capital investment to get started. IoT with the ability to put sensors in snow plows and on roads and all over the place, and being able to collect data and, most importantly, analyze that data to make more well-informed decisions. So data plays right into that with all the data that will be collected. And then obviously with all that data coming in, right, there's a need to secure that data. There's going to be sensitive information that's collected, being able to protect the information, but at the same time, you want to be able to provide that information out. So it's a combination of being able to secure the information, but while all the same time being able to share it as well.
And so David, last question for you. How should CIOs be including cyber in the discussion of workforce efficiency?
So I think security is always going to be a part of the conversation. I think it starts with building security into the services that you are providing rather than trying to bolt them on afterwards. It's very difficult to bolt security on after the fact. One of the key philosophies we believe in at Citrix is, can you bring the user to the data rather than bring the data to the user? Providing better protection of information and overall a stronger security posture that allows you to be more free about how you provide information, allow better accessibility to information while maintaining kind of a wall around the most important information within the organization.
That's great. David, thanks for your thoughts on this today. I
No
appreciate
problem.
it. Again, we're here at the NASCIO Midyear Conference with David Smith. He's the National Director for State and Local Government at Citrix. Thanks for watching.